The Great Bubble Blizzard. Otto and Zip were on a very important mission. Their favorite stuffed dragon, Sir Flapsalot, had accidentally taken a tumble into a very deep, very squishy mud puddle in the garden. He wasn't green anymore. He was a lumpy shade of chocolate brown. "Don't worry," Otto said, adjusting his imaginary explorer's hat. "We'll give him a deep-sea spa day." They marched into the laundry room with the dragon held high. Otto reached for the highest shelf, wobbling slightly on his toes, and pulled down a giant bottle of Super Duper Ultra Suds soap. "The bottle says to use a tiny capful," Otto whispered, looking at the bright orange liquid. "But Sir Flapsalot is extra dirty. I think we need the whole thing." Zip nodded solemnly, his eyes wide with excitement. He grabbed the garden hose from the open window and stuck it directly into a large blue plastic bucket. "More water means more clean," Zip shouted. He turned the nozzle to the blast setting and watched as the bucket began to whirl and swirl with the neon blue soap Otto had poured in. Within seconds, something strange happened. A single bubble, the size of a grapefruit, wobbled out of the bucket. Then another, then 100. Otto and Zip started scrubbing the dragon, but the bubbles were growing faster than they could scrub. "It's a bubble invasion!" Zip giggled, poking a shimmering sphere that floated past his nose. Zip soon found himself buried up to his chin in fluffy white foam. He looked like a giant marshmallow with two bright eyes peeking out. "I'm a snow monster!" he yelled, throwing a handful of suds high into the air. The bubbles were so thick in the room that he couldn't even see his own feet anymore. Otto, meanwhile, had found a way to stay dry, mostly. He had accidentally sat on a bubble so large and sturdy that it lifted him right off the floor. He floated toward the ceiling like an astronaut in a very soapy space station. "Look, Zip, I'm the king of the suds!" he cheered, waving his arms to keep his balance. Zip didn't want to be left behind in the foam. He gathered the heavy suds and sculpted himself a magnificent bubble beard and a tall, pointy bubble hat. He marched through the laundry room, leaving a trail of white clouds behind him. "I am the Great Wizard of Wash," he proclaimed, using a wooden mop as his magical staff. Up in the air, Otto was having a bit of trouble navigating. Every time he tried to swim toward the door, the giant bubble just spun in circles. He tried to use a stray striped sock as a paddle, but it just got stuck in the foam. "The Sud Sea is very treacherous today," he called out, laughing as he spun. Suddenly, a loud pop echoed through the room. Then pop, pop, pop. The giant bubbles started to burst one by one. Otto and Zip were caught in a rainstorm of soapy mist. They tumbled down into a soft, fluffy pile of foam on the floor, laughing until their tummies ached and the room was filled with white flakes. When the mist finally cleared, the laundry room was very wet, but the floor was the cleanest it had ever been. And there, sitting right in the middle of the bucket, was Sir Flapsalot. He wasn't brown anymore. He was sparkling green and smelled like fresh meadows. "Mission accomplished," Zip said, giving the damp dragon a big hug.